WCON 1170 Radio and Cable Channel 16 are pleased to present We Should Know, hosted by J.W. Simmons, an upbeat, informative look at people, places, and issues facing our community. This education-based analysis of issues will remain positive and informative as we consider closely what we should know.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We Should Know is on the air. I'm J.W. Simmons, your host. We're coming to you from Cape Fear Winery here in Elizabethtown, North Carolina. Our guest today is the owner and operator, Alex Munroe. Alex, thank you for taking time to talk with us and to show us a little bit about what's going on here at the winery. This is a huge operation, and we're standing with the background to this lake, and I'm looking at some beautiful cottages over here. Kind of give us an idea how you got here with all of your background and history.
Well, thank you guys for coming. We're very strong fans of Star, and you guys have been with us since day one, since we've been out here and provided excellent service and always help when we have problems and stuff. So we're honored that you guys are here and honored to be talking to your audience today. Cape Fear Vineyard and Winery is here in Elizabethtown, about a mile from the Cape Fear River, almost halfway between Fayetteville and Wilmington. So in the heart of the Cape Fear region. I started the winery in 2000. We started building it in 2013. I kind of came across the land. I had a plastics company across the street, and I'd moved from Wilmington. My family's been here for several generations. My dad was a doctor in Whiteville, so he moved from here to Elizabethtown to Whiteville to set up his practice. So I grew up in Whiteville. Ended up in Wilmington and started a plastics company there, and was fortunate and outgrew the space I was in. So I was looking for warehouse space and a place to grow with my plastics company. And when I found out that there were some incubators here in the Elizabethtown industrial park that help entrepreneurs expand their businesses with good incentives and that type of thing, I jumped on it, and it was an opportunity to come back to the Bladen County region. And as while I had my plastics company, I had a dog that had been living in Wilmington in the city. He was an Irish setter, and he was a city dog. Irish setters love to run. We would run whenever we could, but when I came out here to Bladen County, I could literally release him out here, and he would run all over the place. And one of the favorite places he had was right across the street from my office was this particular property. It's about 14 acres. And Dan was his name, and we would run over here, and we'd come out into this lake, and he would swim. And then I had a Labrador Retriever that was owned by one of my friends, and they'd come out here and swim and play. And it was such a beautiful property, but nothing was ever going on here. So one day I was going back into my office and found out the property was for sale. And so by the next day, I had a option to purchase on it, and went to the town and said, okay, kind of what do you guys need in this region? And I knew that we could probably make something out of it. And I said, well, it would be nice to have a really nice restaurant. We need lodging. A great events facility would be good. And I thought this was the perfect location for it. So I decided to buy the property, and it's been a great experience ever since. The community's been 100% behind me. We've been so supportive. I first started out with the restaurant and the event center and 3 cottages, and I said, well, if it doesn't work out, I can always just have a place for me and my friends to come hang out, and on a beautiful little lake. Mm-hmm. But so we've grown organically since that time. We started with 3 cottages. We now have 19 rooms. We have about a 65-seat restaurant and 4,000 square foot event facility. We do weddings, corporate events, all kinds, any type of birthday parties, reunions. We're in the party business, and we don't mind the overtime. Mm-hmm. But then a couple of years ago, we added a nice day spa. We have a gallery here, a nice art gallery. The winery itself is kind of a museum. We have one of the largest celebrity art collections in the United States, really. Mm-hmm. So we have pieces by Jimi Hendrix, Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, and guys like that. Henry Ford and that type of thing. So it's grown, and we have a gift shop now where we have a distillery. The gift shops, we sell our distilled spirits in the gift shop and here on property in our restaurant. And we're in distribution in the southeastern United States and trying to grow that. So that's been a lot of fun. The gift shop has a nice art collection that we sell, pieces by Henry Diltz, local artists as well. Bernie Taupin, who was Elton John's songwriter. Mm-hmm. and they come in and do tastings in there of our distilled spirits and our wines. We've got about 14 acres here, and it's a great place. We've got a beautiful agritourism element to the property where we have a lot of camellias, a lot of roses. We have horses, miniature horses, donkeys, peacocks, llamas, ducks, geese, rabbits, little kangaroo, wallaby named Gracie, so a macaw named John Henry. So there's a lot of cool things to come. Bring your family out if family's coming around. The mom and dad can grab a glass of wine and walk around the property and let your kids go feed a farm animal or something. They say now that the average child is 3 to 5 generations removed from farming. So a lot of kids have never had an opportunity to pet a chicken or to see a chicken, feel a chicken egg and that type of thing, or to pet a horse. So we have little packets of feed. You can go up and hand feed the animals and everything. And it's just a great place for families. And we're kind of we're a destination. We're not in the middle of a city. So when you come out here, you're forced to kind of relax and take your time and absorb nature. And that's what we do here. So,
Alex, as you describe it, I'm just so excited that you kind of gave everybody a little taste of what's going on here. And as a graduate of UNC, this is a huge transition from Chapel Hill and some of the experiences you had there. Yeah. But I think about this, and I want folks to understand that we're going to walk through and visually let you explain not only the cottages, but some of the other things that's going on here, particularly the arts and the wonderful restaurant. I mean, you got a first-class restaurant with a well-renowned chef here, and we're going to look at that, and we want to encourage everybody to stay with us. But as we do that, this has been a huge undertaking for you as a business person, but you have literally created a serene paradise here that a lot of folks probably didn't even imagine would be located in Elizabethtown.
That, and a lot of people in Elizabethtown don't even know we're here. So thank you for helping us get the word out. After I finished, I went to Chapel Hill in journalism and advertising school. And when I finished college, I took a backpack and hitchhiked around the world by myself, and through the Middle East, Africa, a lot of places, Syria that weren't really recommended I go into. But so I saw a lot of culture along the way. And in my previous business, I did manufacturing in California. So I spent a lot of time in Malibu and Los Angeles and those areas, and went to some of the world's top wineries and museums, been to museums all over the world. And it's one of the highlights of my traveling is going to see museums and that type of thing. They say when people look at art, that it releases a chemical in the brain, and this has been found to be true, that gives a person the same warmth and security as when they look at their mother. So looking at art releases certain chemicals in the brain that make you feel good, and they make you feel comfortable, and they make you feel comforted. After 9/11, the most tragic day, in American history, the next day, everyone was off work, right? Because all the businesses closed. But the museums were filled. So the museums were filled for weeks after that, because people were wanting to go see art and experience the comfort that art brings and that type of thing. So what a pleasure it is to have a great art collection here on the property. That people can come enjoy, that you would usually have to go to Los Angeles or Washington, D.C. or New York to enjoy. So that's been one of the greatest things of my experience here, that I've been able to bring that to people. I've been collecting art since I was a little kid. And so I've managed to have some pretty good pieces along the way. So that's a big important factor of our place here is art. God's art, and the trees and the beautiful lake and the roses and different things, and then man's art on display in the gallery, ballroom, and that type of thing, and then the art of food and drink. So which is all great too.
Well, I'm so glad you mentioned that, and I'm also glad that you kind of gave a bit of a background, because you're a world-rounded businessman as well. And that exposure to all of these things that you have had worldwide has brought you to this dynamic location here in Elizabethtown. And as you just pointed out, a lot of folks don't know it, but they don't have to get caught in the congestion and traffic and push and shove of large cities. Right. If they want to kind of get away for a while, even a weekend or a couple of nights, this is the place to do it. We're going to do a kind of a walk around here to hopefully with your kind of verbalizing what we're looking at to give folks a taste. And I'm going to use this. If you haven't been, a taste of what you're missing. If you have been, maybe some of the new things you have added, because one of the things I've noticed in my experience in talking with you over the years, you are definitely an innovator. There's nothing static about your life.
One of the first things I learned through literature was innovate or abdicate. So we're always producing new brands of whiskeys, new things on the property, bringing in new art, new foods, new events, fresh things all the time. So there's always something new and fun going on out here. That's our job, and we hope that we do a good job bringing it to the Bladen County community. I'll also say that of all the places I've been in the world, the Bladen County community is one of the most beautiful that there is. And that's from Kenya, Nairobi, the Ngorongoro Desert, to Wrightsville Beach. North Carolina and this part of the world is truly, it's where I call home.
Absolutely. I think we'll all give you applause on that statement. It is a beautiful part of the world. I'm glad to have grown up in this area of the state. A lot of other folks are as well. We're going to now, with your help, take a break. As we do that, we're going to walk over to one of the cottages on the lake and kind of talk about that cottage from the inside so people can see not only the cottage, but how well designed and developed it is, plus how spacious they are. This is not a hotel room in a high rise. This is a serene cottage on a beautiful lake in a quiet area of Bladen County. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment, and we're going to go over to a cottage. So when we come back, we're going to be inside of one of those cottages, and we'll be discussing how you can also be there and maybe hang around here for a couple of days and just get part of the taste of Cape Fear Winery. We'll be back in a moment.
You're out for an evening on the town. Finally a chance to relax and forget that you left your front door completely unlocked. Fortunately, you just installed a security system from Star Communications. With just your cell phone, you can check on your house, lock it down, light it up, and get back to relaxing.
You forgot to put Buster in his crate.
Unfortunately, we can't help with that. Security and automation from Star Communications. Call today to find out more.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
Most aging adults want to stay in their homes as long as possible. And as your loved ones get older, you want to support them, even when you can't be there. Star is proud to offer Star Alert. This new system is now mobile and has GPS compatibility, so your loved ones can live their lives and you can have peace of mind, knowing they can get the help they need with just the simple push of a button. The new Star Alert also offers automatic fall detection, so help will be alerted even if they can't press the button. Call and ask about Star Alert today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I want to thank you for being with us today. The name of the show is We Should Know. I'm J.W. Simmons, your host. We're coming to you from Cape Fear Winery in Elizabethtown. I'm talking with the person that is in charge of this whole operation, the owner, operator, and Alex Munroe. We had a great first intro from the pond. We're now inside of one of those cottages that we alluded to, and I can just say, this is tremendous. This is a beautiful location. It's overlooking the lake. You and I stood and looked out the window before we came back on air for this segment. And there's beautiful white ducks swimming in the pond.
Yeah.
You mentioned the word serenity and that feeling.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the place you need to be.
It's great. You can go a lot of places and not have the caliber of cottage that you have here or the environment. Of course, there's beautiful places. I'm the first one to go there, but I consider this to be as equal to anything that you'll see. We designed these cottages when I was younger. One of my first vocations was working on the development team at Bald Head Island. Mm-hmm. So we, as the developer, will go out into new properties, and the family, the Mitchells who owned Bald Head Island, were very environmentally conscious. So they preserved as many trees as they could. They made a minimal impact on the grant, on the lots and that type of thing in their developments. And also the type of architecture was inspiring to me. What we have here is a simple North Carolina vernacular architecture, a little bit of New England influence, but the gray shaped shingles outside and the big porches and big windows, and it's all clean, crisp lines and everything, but functional. This is a 3-bedroom cottage that we have. It's great for families coming for weddings and get-togethers and birthday parties, and also corporations that want to come have a private place to do their budgets and that type of thing. We've got beautiful ballroom area here for people to spread out. There's big, wide open porches here. The town put in about a 1.3-mile walking trail around the lake here, and it kind of is adjacent to our property and runs through the property with nature trails and that type of thing. So right outside your door, you can get on the nature trail and walk around. All of the cottages, actually. Mm-hmm. And all of them do look out over the lake, which is nice. So you can sit on a porch outside and have a glass of wine. Mm-hmm. It's funny. I see people when they come in, check in on Friday, where's my room, where's my room? And then Saturday, you'll see them at the bar. And then by Sunday, by the time they're leaving, they're back here in a rocking chair saying, we don't want to go. It forces you to slow down and enjoy the ambiance and thing that the property offers. Our bedrooms each one has a private bath, and they're either king size beds or doubles, that type of thing. So we have a variety of cottages that fit your needs. Some of them are, not all are 3 bedrooms like this one. Some of them are 1 bedrooms or more cottage style. But we were talking earlier about, if you go to a Sheraton or Hilton, which is great properties, obviously they're all over the world, but one thing is you go in and, okay, it's just another hotel room, right? So these have a little bit more special. Each one is furnished with unique design themes. This one's called Game Fish, which is named after our Game Fish vodka, which is the art was done by Steve Goyone, who's a prominent wildlife illustrator, marine wildlife illustrator. Other cottages include things with the Cape Fear nautical names, like Cape Fear is one of the names of the cottages, and it's a bridal suite. We have one named Rose Garden, which sits in the Rose Garden, and all the decorations inside are of roses and things like that. Have Shoals, which has pictures of the frying pan shoals and more Bald Head Island stuff, and Carriage, which features horses and that type of thing. So each floor plan is special and designed for that particular theme. And so it makes it fun.
Yeah, it sounds like that they all have a personality.
Personality.
It kind of speaks to you.
Yeah, when you come in and you stay in, for instance, the Bee's Knees, which is we have a really nice gin, maritime gin that we produce here, and of course a really nice gin drink is called Bee's Knees. And Bee's Knees also is a term that means kind of the best of things. So you walk into Bee's Knees, for instance, and it has gin recipes and bees and that type of thing. So each one has a fun, flavorful, and adventurous theme to it, which makes your stay a little bit better. So
yeah, one of the things that struck me is all camera we were talking about, and I totally see from looking inside of this cottage the idea that this is a perfect location for executive business meetings, where a lot of businesses and corporations have retreats and they go to different areas. This is an example of a place that they can go that has that private sense about it, that you're not being pushed and shoved in an elevator and those kinds of things, that they could really get away. And plus, you're right near the airport.
Right.
I mean, a couple of jets could land there and you could do your whole corporate
fly into the airport here. Of course, there's international airports in Wilmington and Fayetteville. Here on the property, the individual aspect of all of the cottages and the overall property lends itself to providing a group therapy enhancement experience. Everyone is together. There's nothing to go see on the street, or there are things, but there's nothing that you want to stay here on property. So it really becomes a bonding opportunity for you and your staff. Just the property itself is calming, and it helps your team focus on the task at hand, which is improving the company, and you got a clear mind, and it works great for corporate events.
And for folks that are looking a place to just get away, I mean, if it's a couple that says, well, we need to just get away, if it's nothing but for a weekend,
right.
We need to decompress. There's smaller cottages than this that is equally adorned with artwork and view, and all of those kinds of amenities are there. And if you look at the room rates, you actually get a much better deal here than you're going to get in Charlotte or Myrtle Beach or any of these other places.
Plus, you got the cool factor. We're about an hour from Wilmington, about an hour from Myrtle Beach, an hour from Fayetteville, 2 hours from Raleigh. Charlotte's about 2.5 hours. So you're within striking distance to feel like you're getting away for the weekend, but it's not like having to go to way off in the mountains or somewhere else. You got a beautiful experience here with the amenities of the property and all the beauty that you really don't need to go anywhere else. It's right here in your backyard, literally.
And everything that amenities that anybody would want would be here and be available. And if there's something specific they're looking for, certainly they can let you know, and you can make it available for them.
Of course, yeah, we do the spa here. Our guests enjoy the spa. We've got estheticians and massage therapists there. We do room service in the rooms if you'd rather have your your meal brought to you at night while you're outside on the deck or enjoying that. But the thing is too, if you're staying here on the property, the gift shop is the restaurant's a Frisbee throw away. So you can literally walk over there, enjoy yourself, have some nice glasses of wine, and come back to your car. It's like being on a cruise ship, a lot of my customers say. They don't have to go anywhere or worry about driving and that type of thing. They just stay here on property, and it's all within walking steps of their room.
Absolutely. And I would remind folks, this is in Elizabethtown, Bladen County, right here in North Carolina, somewhat the heart of eastern North Carolina, so they can get here very quickly. I want to kind of make sure we cover anything else you want to mention in the cottage, because when we leave here, we're going over to the gallery, which is connected to the restaurant. And those are two particular venues that is adorned with art and celebrities, and you have made that happen.
Yeah. So one of the cool things that we'll see when we go to the gallery ballroom is our art collection, and it's all done by celebrities. So there's a cool factor in that. You're not necessarily going and seeing Van Goghs and that type thing, although we do have some nice Picassos and Renoirs and that type thing, but you're not necessarily, it's got a certain charm in itself.
So we're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to come back, and when you see us again, we're going to be in the gallery. You're going to see some of the artwork and allow Alex time to kind of give us a little information about that, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Eastern North Carolina is a beautiful place where we gladly choose to call home, and we strive to provide the best communications services. STAR is committed to improving communications to all our service areas because we want to improve the communities where we not only work, but also live. STAR Communications. We are neighbors serving neighbors.
If you run a business, you need sales. To get sales, you need customers. To get customers, you need exposure. Let our team of experts craft and produce the perfect video ad to reach your intended audience while making the most of your advertising dollars. Call 1-800-706-6538 or visit starcom.net to contact our Star Communications production team and get your business moving to the next level.
105.7. 105.7. Tuning into Christian 105.7 is tuning in to a space of hope, encouragement, answers, and love. With the magic of radio or the convenience of the internet, Christian 105.7 is focused on sharing the universal truth and light of Christ with a local touch that creates that special feeling of community. More than just another broadcast station, we're your neighbors. Christian 105.7. What faith sounds like.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. J.W. Simmons here, your host. The show is We Should Know. We're coming to you from Star Communications, WCLN Radio, and we look forward to seeing you each and every week. This week, we're on site at Cape Fear Winery, and we're talking with the owner, the guy that's in charge down here, Alex Munroe, and we're in a location at the winery now that we refer to as the Gallery Banquet Hall. Alex, this is a tremendous facility. We just left the cottages. I was planning to stay in the cottages, but now we're over here and I'm seeing chandeliers. I'm seeing a huge 12, 15-foot ceiling. I'm seeing artwork everywhere.
Yeah.
Tell us about this location.
Well, like I told you earlier, we're in the party business. So we have a fun party atmosphere here in our gallery ballroom. We put our best foot forward. This is about a 4,500 square foot banquet facility. We can accommodate up to 250 to 300 people. We do a lot of murder mysteries, of course, wedding receptions, quinceañeras, corporate events, family reunions, and that type of thing here in the gallery ballroom, which is right adjacent to your cottage when you're staying here. We wanted it to be a little bit unique, so all of the fixtures in here we hand built out of used barrel staves, and our chandeliers built with wine glasses. Of course, we have kind of a Tuscan feel here with the stone, but the artwork in here is really what sets it apart and what makes it heartfelt to me. Here on this wall is one of Salvador Dali's, what I consider one of his most important pieces. This is called The Objects and Imaginations of the Future. In 1966, he was commissioned to do a expose on what he thinks the future will look like in the United States or in the world. And so he did these really creative pieces back here. These are all artist proofs. They destroyed the originals. And this is the complete series suite. So to find this uninterrupted, over the years, most people have sold off a piece here or there. But this is the entire suite here on display in the gallery ballroom. Dr. Seuss, we all love him, is now becoming a modern day Picasso almost, because of his stuff's now so regarded by people. So we have a lot of Dr. Seuss pieces back here, which are all fun. And we've got in the back corner there, we have some Ringo Starrs, Paul McCartney, Alex Lifeson from Rush, and even a Slash photo, self-portrait. And coming into the ballroom, you'll pass through our Hall of Fame, we call it, which is a lot of celebrity memorabilia, signed photographs, that type thing, in the what we call the Peanuts Gallery, which are, when Charles Schulz passed away, he gave lifetime exclusive to Peanuts characters to a fellow named Tom Everhart out of Los Angeles. And Tom has taken Charles Schulz's work up to more of the modern art era. So you'll see really nice pieces of the Peanuts characters, but they're more in the modern art aspect. So great things like this make your guests and your stay here memorable, and you won't find that anywhere else, not many places that you'll go to and have an event.
I think what really impressed me the first time I remember coming into this location was just the uniqueness of what you just described, the things that you just don't go somewhere and buy. Right. These are creations, and some of the creations and artwork that you just mentioned has a huge value, not only in the sense of what they are and their availability and the financial part, but they have a huge value of our social function, to some degree, maybe our social dysfunction, but our social function. And when I look at the artwork, I think this is stuff that a lot of folks now grew up with decades ago that are now adults. But this was part of their early childhood. It's part of, and that brings us back to what we were saying earlier about artwork being a conduit to self-security, inspiration, awe, and these pieces definitely exhibit and enhance that experience while you're here. It also brings together, if you're here for a corporate or family function, it brings together family, get united through artwork, looking at the pieces, and particularly in today, where so many things are decisive, you can come in here and enjoy the artwork and just slip away. Get a glass of wine or two or three and come back and just really enjoy it and immerse yourself in it. And as we go up front into the Corkroom, our restaurant here on site, you'll see even some more special pieces by probably one of the only restaurants you'll go into that has an original
Richard Petty, or Frank Sinatra, or
I think the thing is that what you're saying is there's artwork
Marilyn
there that nobody else. You're not, is a saying I've heard many times, is you're not going to find it anywhere else.
Yeah, a guy.
That's the interesting thing.
Someone made a comment on our Facebook site. They said, "Where else can you go and see a Picasso hanging by Michael Jackson?" So it's kind of cool stuff like that. It's eclectic. It's a very eclectic mix,
and it contrasts, I think, well with each other. Each one of those things that you just mentioned is part of something that you and I kind of discussed off air a while ago, and I'll mention now, is in today's society, we need things like art to help us decompress.
It helps us decompress. Sure.
And certainly in society, we see enough things that we're going, what in the world? I mean, even with traffic today, and we talked a bit about that, but the agitation and the tenseness and the aggressiveness in traffic makes a person want to come somewhere like this where you don't have to worry about that.
A couple glasses of wine help a lot too.
Absolutely. And a place to stay. And it all works out. I want to try to, if we can, walk through and in this segment, walk through and look at some of the things that and give the guys time to, kind of set the cameras. But we're going to walk through from here into the restaurant you talked about. And from there, look at some things that's going on there, and they'll get some visual stuff so we can make sure our audience on the TV side is seeing some of these things that we are. And for the folks on the radio side, keep in mind you can pull this up if you happen to hear us on radio, and you can see it on YouTube and actually visualize the entire show. So we're going to go to the restaurant. We're going to pick up on the rest of the show from there, and then we've got a couple of other venues I just so want to get to before we end the show today. So we're going to take a shot now and get to the restaurant, and we'll pick it up from there.
No rush. We're on winery time.
Absolutely. We just came through and so many things that are hanging on the walls here. We're now in the restaurant called the Courtroom, and quite frankly, as we have in the past looked at some of the artwork, some of the things as we were coming into the restaurant, on the walls, celebrities, hundreds of pictures of celebrities of all kinds. I see everything from presidents to singers to art people that do paintings. In this restaurant, when I look around, it just continues. It is elaborately adorned with things that folks are not going to see anywhere else.
Yes, I've been collecting them for a long time, and you'll see some pieces in here you won't find anywhere else. Like we talked about the original Richard Petty here. Michael Jackson, have some original Michael Jacksons for your Van Halen fans. David Lee Roth. Behind us is a really nice Ringo Starr piece. These are a couple of Olivia Newton-John originals that she did during COVID while she was quarantined in Australia. An original by Nancy Wilson of the rock group Heart. More Ringo Starr. David Bowie was a great artist as well. So things like that are featured. James Taylor. These are Henry Dilt's pictures that he did for album covers and stuff like that. So, yeah, you come in and you surround yourself with great art, great wine, great distilled spirits, and great food. We have a great menu here, mostly American, featuring great steaks and seafood. One of the unique things that we were able to do here is pair our menu items with our wines and also our distilled spirits. So we have recommendations on the menu, what ones we suggest you pair with. And some of our entrees are actually made with our distilled spirits or our wines. So we have what's called from the sea, from the land, and from the still. So it's kind of cool that you have a comprehensive distillery winery experience here all the way down to your dessert, so.
Absolutely. And I think what is also interesting to me is that while you're here and the conversation with a huge bar area, and you look at all the beverages, you look at the menu, and as you just pointed out, it's there for anybody's palate. They can find the taste they love.
It is. We have enough spirits now that we have whiskeys and bourbons and tequilas and vodka and rum and gin. So don't come here expecting to find Tito's, because you're only going to find Cape Fear Game Fish vodka. We do keep a few select other more ubiquitous name distilleries on site, because they make great products too, and some people want to have their Jim Beam apple, so we have stuff like that. But most of the menu items here and our cocktail list is done with spirits that we make here in-house. We have a really cool Bloody Mary called the Game Fish Bloody Mary that is really huge. It's got bacon and shrimp and things like that. And then on our outside deck here, we have outside seating and a beautiful, what we call the lily pad over here beside a nice little waterfall. You look out onto the pasture, so you see llamas and donkeys and horses, and there's probably going to be a duck or two walking by your table. And it's just that kind of place. You can't find that in Raleigh or Wilmington or Charlotte for sure. We're only out here in the middle of Bladen County. And it really does set us apart. It makes it so unique.
Absolutely. And one of the things I reflect on when we walked in the back door of the gallery, there was 3 ducks sitting beside the door as a welcoming group, I guess.
Yep, they just sit there and welcome everybody. And of course, they like a cracker or two whenever you feed them. And hey, you're welcome to feed the animals here, no problem. So they're our friend, they're our family. So we love them.
Well, I got to ask this question. We're talking menu. When you look at that menu and of the whole variety, it sounds like you hit the full landscape there. What is Alex Munroe's preferred item on that menu?
Well, it's like naming what's your favorite child. I can't necessarily say that. We're known for our fried green tomatoes are really, really good. Our shrimp and grits has been one item that's been on our menu since day one, and the fried green tomatoes. Of course, our steaks, I have to say, we use a premium grade of steak, even better than what your nicer known, more famous steak houses would use. We use a cut above that. So we charge a few dollars more for them, but you don't have to drive to Wilmington or Myrtle Beach or somewhere special to get it. You can get it right here within 20 minutes from your home.
So if you're looking for the best and want to forget all the rest, you need to come to the courtroom.
Save the gas, eat locally, and have an even better experience.
This artwork theme, and I'm just going to touch on this because we're going to, for the next part, we're going to walk out of here to another room or another building. This is part of the entire property. Art is a part of everything around here.
It's the biggest part. And but we consider also art in our distilled products, in our wines, in our food. And we consider that art also. So everything here we have, and this all comes down to experience and the human experience. And visually, through your taste buds, through the great music that's here, audibly, everything. So
it's a total body experience, especially when you think about the spa and the kinds of things that you have shown me that you have available in the spa.
Yeah, we have a float tank in the spa that has 2,000 pounds of salt on the bottom of it. So you literally float on top of it. And it's like being on a cloud. The water temperature is 84 degrees. And we close you up in there. You can keep the lights on or not. But it's called a sensory deprivation chamber. After about 20 minutes, you really entered a new world.
Wow. It's like you can go to the beach, but you don't even need to go to the beach. You can be there.
Or if you're going to the beach, stop here the night before or 2 days before and start your vacation a day early.
Absolutely. And then you might decide not to go to the beach and stay here another couple of days. we're going to leave this venue here, the courtroom, and we're going to another building that I found fascinating on this property, and that's something called Tipsy Toad. And the Tipsy Toad has got just a lot of unique items in it, a lot of things that maybe you've been searching for something that would be different, that would be, represent not only this winery, but something that's very special for people. I'm sure that's what that's for. So as we start to leave today and as we exit, we may drop in some shots here and there, but I want to thank you so far for giving us a grand tour of a great facility, and we'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned.
For the ultimate Wi-Fi experience, you need whole home Wi-Fi from Star Communications. Star's whole home Wi-Fi provides ultimate coverage, ultimate performance, and ultimate power all the time. Star's whole home Wi-Fi systems feature the latest Wi-Fi 6 technology and are equipped with unrivaled bandwidth and 4 times more simultaneous connections. So you can connect tons of devices throughout your home with no lag and no downtime. Plus, with 24/7 support and remote troubleshooting, you can rest assured that Star is always there to help you should any issues arise. Star's whole home Wi-Fi also comes with the Command IQ mobile app, putting you in control of your home network and making it easy to set up and connect devices, run network speed tests, pause Wi-Fi, and set parental controls all from the palm of your hand. It's the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. Contact Star today to get started.
Just because something may work doesn't mean it's right for your business. Let Star Communications' knowledgeable consultants help you customize a hosted voice system that's right for you. Our dedicated experts work with you to understand your business needs and guide you at every step, from choosing and installing services to ongoing maintenance and support. Contact Star today.
Honey, do we pay our bill?
What bill?
The Star Communications bill.
No worries, honey. With Star's paperless billing and automatic draft system, I get a notification sent right to my phone. There's no need to be bothered with those paper statements, and our bill is paid on time every month.
Well, that's easy and convenient.
It sure is, honey.
Honey?
Yes, dear.
The baby.
Oh, right.
Welcome back, folks. We Should Know is coming up on the last segment here. We've had a wonderful day at Cape Fear Winery, and we're talking with Alex Munroe. This last segment, we've got so much covered. We've got a lot to cover. Alex, it's hard to pack all this in one show. So we might need to do a series over a few years here to get everything in.
Yeah, we prefer our wine. We drink it one glass at a time, but we've kind of been drinking the whole bottle this morning.
I think we have. We're at the Tipsy Toad. We just left the courtroom. The Tipsy Toad, as I have seen from the inside, and as you're going to explain to us, has a little bit of everything from sayings to gadgets to artwork and to some of your more expressed spirits here.
We like cool, and we've got some cool stuff here, JW. Invite your guests all to come down here and check it out. There's something for everyone. We have a lot of North Carolina products here. Kakalaki is one of our good brands that we support. Other North Carolina artists here. The Steve Goyon Gallery. Steve, of course, is an international wildlife artist, but he doesn't have very many on-site galleries, and we have his gallery here. We have a lot of our private label brands. We have a nice moonshine pickle and some okras and stuff like that. And then, of course, we feature our distilled spirits and wines here for tastings, particularly our distilled spirits. You can buy our distilled spirits here on site. And we offer everything here from our maritime gin, game fish vodka, billfish tequila, Cape Fear rum, which is on Carnival Cruise Lines now, single barrel frying pan Shoals bourbon, our Solera whiskey, and we have a Beach Blast coconut rum cream we can hardly keep it in stock. So Some of the artwork in here too that's for sale. We have some limited edition Henry Diltz pieces. Henry Diltz just won a Grammy for his photography. He's done over 200 album covers in his lifetime. Jackson Browne, Paul McCartney, and guys like that. And we have some Bernie Taupin very limited edition pieces here that, of course, Bernie was Elton John's writer and partner throughout the years. And when he did his 50th anniversary of his relationship with Elton John, he did a particular series in honor of Elton John. And we have pieces up here like Hold Me Closer, and this one's for you. But he did his East Coast art premiere here at the winery. So got some great pieces from him here. And yes, a little bit of rock and roll, and always good things to eat and drink. And we make our own bourbon and moonshine barbecue sauce here on property. So you can come and sample those, but do tastings here and buy spirits here, and enjoy your time while you're on the winery, enjoying the property.
One of the things that interests me when I came in the door is the color and the different kinds of items and the things that normally you just do not see in the big chain stores. It's totally a unique experience, and it is hard to walk out of here without saying, wow, I want to take a picture of that, or I want to remember this.
Yeah, so color is a big theme on the winery, of course, with the art. Our T-shirts and everything we try to bring in all the rainbow prism colors in here into our supplies and merchandise here. You'll even find pieces that are, for instance, we have some Janet Jackson. Some of her bracelets are for sale that she wore. Some of her boots that she wore for sale, and necklaces and stuff. So we have that type thing here. A lot of things that you won't just find at any old regular gift shop. And it's worth the drive to come out here and see these things.
And I think this is kind of part of the theme that we've talked about all day as we've gone to these different venues here, is that the uniqueness of these items. Not only are some of them, as you pointed out, totally unique, you're not going to find it anywhere else, but it would be hard to go somewhere and search it out when all you've got to do is just drive down, come in, have lunch, step over here. Hey, and one of the things we talked about too, if you come down here, prepare yourself, because folks, you're going to want to stay a couple of nights, and that's possible also.
It's crazy the number of times people just come in for lunch and they end up spending the night, and they'll even come in here. We sell toothbrushes and hair combs and extra clothes. Of course, they'll buy a new shirt and stuff to wear, and maybe, people end up staying that weren't expecting it, and so they kind of found, we didn't know this was here. This is a unique gym. So they end up spending the night.
The other thing that I wanted to kind of touch on, we're kind of coming up to in this last segment here, but one of the things just fascinating about this property, and you and I have talked about this off air, is we've looked at some of the artwork hanging on the walls, and artwork is everywhere here. But one of the things just fascinated me is I walk around the property, some of the structural artwork, everything from large cows to huge frogs pushing mowers, and there's a thing that was there I wanted you to speak to that is statuettes, and I'm going to kind of let you take it from there with the Michael Jackson thing.
When Michael Jackson passed away, that his estate offered off a lot of his personal items, and some of the things that we got that were on Neverland were some of the items that were by his carousel, and had a little country western park out there. So we bought some of those statuettes to bring out here. They're on the property. Andy Cobb is a nationally known North Carolina artist for going copper, and he does these beautiful frog statues that are real whimsical, like you said, pushing the lawnmower, cutting the trees and stuff like that. And we have one of the largest collections of Andy Cobb frogs that are on permanent display here. We call it the Ribbit exhibit. So those are neat to come see. So there's art outside, and I think the llama's got to be a great example of whimsical art that's actually alive, Yeah. So the llamas and the donkeys and everything is just great.
Do you get a lot of folks like school systems and classes that call and say, can we just bring our class out?
Every week we've got great picnic chairs and tables and stuff out there, and we can do a tour if they want, or the kid or the teacher will arrange it. But we do a lot of agritourism type stuff. Yeah, a lot of schools and that type of thing.
The other thing I want to kind of circle back with, and we mentioned a bit, but this idea of concerts and so forth, you've had as many as 1,500, 2,000 people on this property for concerts. My question is, not only is that a wow moment, but number two, the people that you've had, I want you to speak to those that have done concerts. The other thing is, how does people get on the list?
Right, yeah. So a lot of our concerts sell out pretty fast. At CapeFieldWinery.com, and sign up on our Facebook page and our Instagram page. You'll see we're continually posting every week. Some of the great acts we've had, 38 Special. A few weeks ago, we had Aaron Tippin and Sammy Kershaw. And, these guys have been around a long time. And Tracy Clark was here last year, and 3 days later, she was playing at the Grand Ole Opry. So how good is that to have Tracy Clark in your backyard, and then a few days later, she's at the Grand Ole Opry, So good things like that. And what's happened with us is through their management companies, and the artists appreciate the venue. We put them up in the cottages here, and they have a great meal here while they're on site, and they can enjoy everything they have here too. It's not like going to a regular concert venue, right? So their managers want to protect and give a good experience for what they call their talent, which would be the performers. So we've got a good reputation within the concert world and music entertainment world, and so we were able to get some premier acts, and we'll get them when they're maybe going from Charleston to Norfolk, or so we're kind of a stop in between. Okay, we'll come play a night and pack up and go, so it works for everybody.
And you just mentioned that, and I want to kind of again mention that as well. The amenities here are just first class. And I think folks, once they come in and see it, whether it's the cottages we looked at, or whether it's the menu at the restaurant, this is all first class stuff. There's nothing here that's going to be a stamped out version.
About every entertainer that we've had, or I'm not mentioning any specific names, but a lot of them have actually come back here during their off season and just hung out for a few days. So that's saying something to me.
It does. And it also is a huge message to people that live within easy driving distance here from Raleigh, from even Charlotte, Greenville, places like that are just looking for that escape.
Hey, take a famous artist that travels all around the country, around the world, and they decide to come back here for a few nights stay. That's saying something.
Well, from a man that has traveled all over the world, from a man that's got a degree from UNC Chapel Hill, and I just look at those kinds of things, and I think, you've been able to blend that in to something that is a legacy. And the Alex Munroe legacy lives on this 14 or 15 acre tract.
I'm honored that you say that. However, I feel like I'm more of a custodian of this property, because Alex Munroe is not going to be here a long time. And as I tell my employees in our weekly meeting, it's not Alex Munroe you're working for. You're working for the property, and you give to the property, and the property will give back to you. When it first started, they were working for me, but now the property has grown into its own being, and it's a little baby still, but it's growing, and we're proud to watch her grow. And so take Alex Munroe out, this property is still going to be going good.
Well, I want to definitely thank you for allowing us to be here today. We've got about a minute coming up here, and I want to just kind of segue to you for any last minute comments you might have.
Well, thank you guys for coming. Again, I'm a big fan of Star Communication. You guys have been here throughout our entire growth, and we've got such great services and customer service, I might say. If we got a cottage that has an internet down or TV down, you guys are out here on the spot. And that means a lot to a small growing company. It protects our brand. So thank you for that. Another thing I'd like to say is, hey guys, if you're on your way to the beach, we're an hour from the beaches, if you start your vacation a day or two early, come out here and stay and get in vacation mode and just run from here down to the beach or wherever you're going.
Well, again, thank you for allowing us to be here today. We look forward to coming back, and definitely going to see you again, and we're going to stay in touch as we have for several years. This is something that I think folks need to be kind of rehearsed over and over again. There's a place you can go that's got tranquility and peace, and you can stay as long as you wish and just enjoy your life and what's the rest of your life, don't wait another day. Drive to Elizabethtown. The roads are open. You don't get caught in the crowds and the pushing, and the elevators always work down here. So there's absolutely no problem.
Never charge for parking.
That never charge for parking. And if you need to fly in or out, the airport is right next door, a block over. So I want to thank you folks for being with us today. We look forward to seeing you again right here on this show. And as always, as we close our show, we say, may God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of We Should Know with host J.W. Simmons. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion regarding this or any episode, please send your emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. And remember to tune in every Tuesday at 2:30 for another informative episode of We Should Know.